Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. It is Friday the 15th of June at 2028. I have completely forgotten where I am. Doubletrees campsite, which is near the Eden Project, northeast of St.Austell. That's the place I am, yes. So this is the campsite for the night. As you can see, it's got a cracking view. So I've just parked my bike up there for the minute. That's the reception there. And yeah, so this is the view of the campsite. How cool is this? So I just camped down just by here. It's not completely flat, but I've kind of done that on purpose because that's my view in the morning. So I can put up with a little bit of a slope. I've got like an anti-slip mat, and it doesn't completely stop me slipping, but it's, you know, it slows me down. So I won't ever end up in the sea or someone else's caravan. But yeah, when I wake up in the morning, well, that's going to be my view, you know. That's kind of the view from my tent door. So yeah, and east is that way as well. So yeah, facing east as usual. So it's been a tough all day today. I've barely done 30 miles, which is, you know, it's terrible in a way. I mean, you know, when I first was planning out, you know, I'm going to do this, I was thinking 55 to 75 miles every day, that'll be fine. And, you know, I've kind of mostly done that. Mostly. But yeah. So, sorry, I've just got a message thing pop up. Becky asking me how Friday's going. I'm telling you at the moment, you won't see this for days. Beck, I'll reply to you in a minute. Although, of course, I will have replied to you like days and days ago by the time you see this. So I was saying something. Hang on. Friday. So I arrived in St.Austell after going uphill and down dale. Let's rewind actually. So I started the day like just at a wild camp, and it was really nice. I mean, you know, there was clanking from the chain ferry up until 10 o'clock at night, and the clanking started around about 7 o'clock in the morning, but that was fine because like I woke up around about then anyway. Whether it was that woke me, I don't know. I woke up refreshed. I had a good night's sleep. It was so quiet there because it was like a proper back road. It led down to a marina, and that was all. And so a motorbike went in and out once, give me an odd look, but I said hello, so he kind of nodded back, and a car left there. But that was it. That was all the traffic until I was kind of, you know, doing my breakfast and that in the morning. So had some odd looks from a few people again, but you know, it was like 2, maybe 3 cars went by, so no problems. So I left there and followed the route down and arrived at a beach. I was like, shit. I don't remember a beach being on my route. I don't mean like in Bournemouth, obviously you've got the promenade along the beach, which got a cycle track along it. No. I mean, the path went down to a slipway to the sand, and there was a stream running along there. I was like, where the hell do I go? There was a cafe there, so I went to the cafe. Excellent. But yeah, after fording the sand, it was up a hill like that afterwards, and then it was like that, and then it was like that, and it was like constantly like that. I mean, so I think I've done again about a kilometre of climbing there today, and it's been constant. You know, it's the typical Cornish short sharp hills, none of them higher than 300 metres, if that. I can't quite remember actually. I think it might have been less, but yeah, it's kind of taken its toll on me surprisingly today. So while I don't feel too tired right now, I think that's because I've just stopped. As you can probably tell by the way I'm kind of babbling, I get this kind of high rising, running along for a while after I get off the bike. But after a short while, I'll kind of sugar crash, I guess, and then I won't know what the hell I'm doing and barely be able to stand up. So, normal state of affairs, obviously. So yeah, anyway, so arrived in St.Austell after like quite a nice cycle track, actually. A flat bit. Always makes a cycle track good if it's flat. Anyway, arrived in St.Austell, went to for another gourmet Mackie D's, mainly to charge my electrics, because some of them were getting a little bit on the low side. I rang this campsite after I'd had a little look and said, oh, you know, I'll pop along in like, you know, in a little bit. The lady had kind of expected me in about half hour from what she said. But this was at, I don't know, a little bit after 5. So I thought, oh, no, maybe around about 6-ish, actually. Between 5 and 6. So I thought, I know, I'll let the rush hour die down first, because this was just on the edge of the southern side of St.Austell, and I needed to get to the northeast side. A rush hour in a town you don't know, especially on a bike, is not particularly fun. You know, I already made one wrong bit at a roundabout. It was like a roundabout with like a staggered junction right after it, and it was one of these kind of combination junctions. I'm like, so yeah, you know, it was fine. You know, it was just after rush hour, so the traffic had calmed down, so it was a sensible decision. But of course, I'd left it long enough that I'd forgotten. During the conversation with the lovely lady here, she'd said, no cash, no card machine, so you need to bring cash. I was like, yeah, I'll just go to cash point. Forgot all about that. Left St.Austell, went up some hill. It was called Hill as well, you know, like East Hill or something. Went all the way up there, all the way up. And then went down and down and down and down and down, and it was lovely. And then, like, on the way back up another hill, I was like, swore a bit. So I was like, right, okay, where's the nearest cash point? And I was like, oh, okay, so here on the map is where the campsite is, and up there is a cash point, and I'm here. And like all the other ones were like, you know, all the way down there, or all the way over there. So I was like, right, we'll go for this one here. So I cycled up and up and up and up and up. And I got to where it said, and there was like a man stood there by some houses, and I was like, hello. Do you know it's a cash point nearby? Now, he was a steward for the Eden project, which was very nearby. And he was like, oh, yes, actually, it's in the Eden project. There's an event on tonight. So it might be difficult for you to get in. And it's not just a case of going in, because you've got to go past some gates, and you've got to go, well, it's in its own little valley. I don't know if you've ever been there. I haven't until today, just purely to get cash. So you go down, and it's an old clay pit apparently, and you just, it's like, I swear it's like 5 miles underground, just like the. So anyway, all the way down, arrive eventually at the gates. It took like 10 minutes to cycle down this hill to get in there. Obviously, a lot of it was careful cycling because of all the pedestrians and whatnot. So fair enough. So yeah, eventually arrived, and yes, I was allowed in to use cash, so fantastic. Obviously cycle all the way back up. I cycle slightly too far back up, in fact, and then have to turn around and cycle slightly back down so I can cycle back out the right way rather than ending up all the bloody way over there. And then, yeah, I got here and it's all fine. Yes, excellent. So I turn up and said, oh, you know, sorry, I rang a few hours ago. And they were like, oh, yeah, I was expecting you in a half hour. We chatted a bit. She offered me a squash because I was clearly knackered. I was like, you know, the first thing I said when I arrived was like, hello, can I sit down? And yeah, explain, you know, charity ride and going from here and going there and doing this and that and the other. And it was only £8 for the night. So I was like, do you know what, I am quite knackered. I was thinking that somewhere along here I'd have a rest day. If you know, I'm only planning on staying the one night, but if I change my mind, is it alright for me to just pop down to town and pick up the rest of the cash and pay for another night? At this point I haven't paid anything. And she says, oh, well, do you know what, as you're doing it for charity, you can stay, it's fine. So I'm staying here tonight free of charge, because the lady who owns Doubletrees campsite is just a wonderful charitable lady, so thank you very much for that. That's very kind of you. And while I don't want to take advantage of her, I think I'd be foolish not to take up her offer and stay the other night to just rest my legs. So tomorrow is going to be, you know, maybe I'll completely unload the bike and just roll down into town and, you know, see the sights of, well, not St.Austell, but I don't know what town that is or what village, but the coast and the surroundings. I mean, this is a beautiful place. Or maybe I'll just sit here, maybe I'll just lie here on this grassy knoll and, you know, admire the view. Bless you. So, oh, someone's got hay fever. Yeah, there was a thing for a Chinese takeaway there, so no, if tomorrow I'm going to be eating all the food. Actually, no, tomorrow I'm going to pop into town and buy some ham and just make sandwiches. I'm going to have a day of eating sandwiches. Yes, lots of sandwiches tomorrow, lots of recuperation. And then the following day I will be fresh as a daisy, and I'll be able to knock out 2 miles of uphill climbing, and I'll do 70 miles in a day, and I'll be home in 3 days' time. Hey, there is nothing quite like wishful thinking. So yeah, I'm going to leave you to it. And I'll catch you later. Bye!